I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Sheriff John Horch. John grew up in Clark County, raised his kids here, and has devoted his life to public service for the past 33 years with the Clark County Sheriff's Office. John has worked in the following positions at the Sheriff's Office: Chief Enforcement Deputy, Commander for the Drug Task Force, Major Crimes Search and Rescue, Internal Affairs Supervisor, Field Training Officer, Bomb Technician, Warrants, Sergeant, Detective, and Patrol Duty. He has a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership and is a graduate of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. John is happily married and has 4 wonderful adult children. They attend New Lights Church and support many nonprofits such as Young Life, Teach One to Lead One, Lunch Buddy, Clark County Food Bank, and Lifeline Connections. John enjoys running, hiking, golfing, and elk hunting during his off time. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Sheriff John Horch.
Do you want me to use the mic, or is this good?
I think you're good.
This is good? Okay, so I'll talk. I'm used to, hey, thank you for reaching out to me. I love being here, and y'all at me, I have a time limit, right? I'm a politician now, I go forever, right? And I have some notes up here, and I have some handouts here on the table that I want to talk about too. So again, thank you for having me. I love being out in the community. I'll put this right here, and talking with everybody. I have another forum this Thursday night at the West Precinct office up on 179th Street, so you can join that at 5:30 or get your questions in here too. So after I get done talking, I'm going to go a recap of where we're at kind of in law enforcement and then locally here, and then afterwards I'm going to stick around for one-on-one questions if you want. So kind of what happened here, if you didn't know, a couple years ago that the lid came off law enforcement, and it was a variety of things. You've already mentioned some knee-jerk reactions by legislators. The public support here in Clark County was pretty good, but up in Olympia it was very tough. Some of the things were battling with. This lid came off, and what has happened over the last few years, we couldn't get people to apply. We would go months, and we wouldn't even have one person apply. When I applied, there was 400 people applying for one job, and we were scratching at the door. No one wanted to go in law enforcement. People were quitting left and right, going to different states for a variety of reasons, but they didn't feel supported here. It was bad. And the ship was sinking more and more. And I knew we could get through it, I just didn't know how long it would take. We saw legislation changes, thanks to some of our legislators here, that helped with that. We saw public support for the public safety tax, and now we're getting deputies to the door, all the agencies around here, Southwest Washington, left and right. In fact, we actually have a good problem where we have to turn some people away, on the application process. And I'm going to grab a little water here every now and then, but so public safety took a hit over a few years, and I'm sure everybody saw it. You couldn't even chase bad guys sometimes. We have an incident happened about a year ago, even here close to involving somebody. From that time, we've had changes in the law so we can take action. So then you also have the jail issues. We only have so much room in the jail. The prosecuting attorney's office basically shut down for about a year and a half. Yep. All trials were stopped. That was huge, because it put a clog in everything. We couldn't take people to jail, and we would run into the same person 4 or 5 times a night. And it was awful, because these police officers, deputy sheriffs and police officers, got in this business to help people and keep people safe. So it's like you're told to go do something, but yet you can't do it. And it was very frustrating. So they felt it as well. That is coming back. It is coming back. I can feel the morale coming back. We have a local academy here. If you guys didn't know, the first graduating class will be May 21st up at A&A. Will be because they don't have enough room where they're at. We have a lot of people in Southwest Washington, new recruits from there. The Sheriff's Office, I was just told yesterday, we have 12 people that will attend that class now in June, which is great. And if you wonder why a local academy is so important, we used to have one, Mr. Bett and I were talking about this, we used to have one in Seattle for the entire state. We screamed about it. People couldn't leave their families for 5 months. People couldn't go away for that long, and a variety of reasons. We have 5 around the state now, so people can go and then go home to their families at night, and it's local, and they have a connection to the community, and it saves the taxpayer hundreds, millions of dollars, because when we hire somebody, you have to start paying them, right? You get on the books, And if you can't train them, you can only have them do so much office stuff around, right? You want to train them. And we were backlogged 9 to 12 months of getting them at the academy. Now there's no backlog. So that's great news. That's a big deal. And we get officers out there, not just Sheriff's Office, but Vancouver Police, Battleground, Ridgefield. They're all going to this academy. So that is great news. Our staffing levels are coming up. Somebody asked me, was it Reggie? Was it you? Staffing levels, or somebody asked, are we fully staffed? We were talking about that. The Sheriff's Office, unfortunately, even if we are fully staffed, we're very close to what our allotted numbers are. We're still 40 or 50 deputies away from really being where we should with the state average. We've always been the lowest staffed Sheriff's Office in the state. We're working to change that. We added 7 more positions last year with the help of the taxpayers, with our citizens voting on the public safety tax, and then the council approving these new positions. So it takes a lot of work to get these positions, but we're getting better. We're moving the ball forward. So I just want to talk about staffing levels. People want to be police officers again. Crime accountability. People are being held accountable. One of the things that we're also doing, we're looking at new ways to stop bad guys. And we think, because innovation, right? Criminals are always finding new ways to do criminal activity. And just one example is, I don't know if you've heard of it. Anybody know what the grappler is? Okay. The grappler is, and I don't care if you know about it or you can tell, but it's going to be public. It's a device that goes on the front of patrol cars, and you have a stolen vehicle or you have a bad guy in front of you and you want to stop them and you don't want to turn in, you put the lights on and they run. That's, police pursuit usually ends up pretty bad. 120 miles an hour and a rack doesn't go well. We have a big rope, big net that goes out and grabs one of their tires, wraps around the axle, whoop, stops it right there. You should pull it up, grappler, go on YouTube and watch it. We've been looking at this for about a year. Now, I don't, just because something's new, I don't just go buy it right away, because I want to test it.
Stop at Precinct, though. That's great.
We did. We went to the training, went to Arizona. They came back, presented it. Just one example of, we're going to find different ways to stop the bad guys and gals. There's gals out there trying to. That's just one example. We've increased our special task forces. Like last weekend, there was a retail task force, special group going out there and working on retail theft in the Hazeldale area. And they got taken away. If you guys didn't see the news, we had another shooting up in Salmon Creek last week. Number one thing is we're safe and the citizens are safe. That's the number one thing. So they were out there, stolen crime task forces are out there every few months. So we're kicking this up because we're getting people, more people on board. Because it takes, our number one resource is people. The law changes have helped greatly. Body-worn cameras, this camera is not on, so don't worry. I wore a body-worn camera because I wear a uniform every day. And I make traffic stops. I don't know if I know how to write a ticket. My wife calls me an administrator now, but I like to think I'm still a cop. By the way, I do have a wonderful wife, and I don't know if the kids are afford having children anymore. One of them's always into something, but I wear this. These are phenomenal. Have you guys seen any of our body-worn camera video from some of the incidents we've had? I post them as soon as I can. There's a process to post out. Even if an incident, if you think the deputy's rude, you can ask for a copy of the video and we'll go through it. It's helped us on training. We've had some incidents where we've gone back and went, ooh, we made a mistake, and they got some discipline from it. So it's a great tool, and it does phenomenal things. Officer safety wise, it has a GPS on it. So body-worn cameras is a big program. I'd like to say it was just you throw on a camera and that was it. There are a lot of people behind the scenes running this whole program. So just want to let you know this is a great thing for every deputy that I know loves it. We're going through these kind of quick. Something else I did this year was able to get was a communications manager, because law enforcement historically hasn't done a good job explaining themselves. Or, years ago they would say no comment when an incident happened. That's the worst thing you can say to anything, right? You can't just say no comment. People want to know, especially in law enforcement, what happened? What are you doing about it? So I made it a priority to be very transparent and authentic with the community and our employees. When I had to call someone today, say I made a mistake on something. And he said it was no big deal, but it was a big deal. I know it was just kind of, but I want to be transparent. And so having a communications manager helps run our communications. I'm going to pass out some of the things that I've had her do. Her name is Ashley Perlsland. If you don't know, she was with KGW for 11 years. So she's a great person to have. That was a real benefit to us. because we need to get our message out there. The jail, somebody asked me about the jail. You guys know that I'm not in charge of the jail anymore. But I work with the director and the county, because having a healthy jail, a jail that can have people and provide the services is just as important as how many police officers you have on the street. You can have 100 more police officers out here today, but if they don't have a place to take anybody, it doesn't do any good. So they're working on that. They have a jail committee going on. And if you didn't know, the plans are to expand the jail all of downtown. They're working. They're going to meet again in June. What that's going to look like, how much they can expand it, but it's going to be a several-year process of getting there. But they are opening up. We had to shut down certain pods, cells during COVID, and the prosecutors weren't prosecuting anybody. So we didn't take anybody to jail there for a while. So they just opened up one of the pods, which adds 60 more people down there. And these are, when we arrest people, we're not arresting somebody for jaywalking. If they get a ticket, they get a ticket. We've got some bad apples, right? And we're not unique in Clark County, and it's anywhere in Clark County. So I've seen some real evil. I've been there, I've experienced it, and these people do not need to be on the streets. We need a place to put them until the court process works its way through. So that's happening, it is getting better. I wanted to hit real quick.
Hey John, what is the capacity right now at the jail?
I know there's right now they have about 440 people in there right now. The capacity is an interesting question. We've been up to, years ago, 900. That was triple bunking people. That's not good for them, it's not safe. So because somebody said you can hold 850 or 900, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I think right now our capacity is about 5 to 550 is what the max they would put down there for safety for everybody. So like I said, we need to have a facility that can have. I think the plans are, please don't quote me on this one, was to build it about 1,000 bed facility. Because you have to look 40, 50 years down the road where that's at. If you want to know, I've gone through some of these. I have copies for everybody. You can get our website, what we're doing. And I get to have our people update our action plan. This is what we're doing for the community to make it safe. I'm all about public safety. And it has an overview of our branches and stuff, but it talks about our priorities. Number one, community safety, right? That's why I was elected, to try to keep it as safe as I can. And then it goes through the different ways we're doing it. So it has our agency priorities here and updates every quarter. You can get online, you can read them. So I brought copies of this if you wanted to hand out. And then also I do a community newsletter and an internal newsletter. This is called the Sheriff's Roundup. This is the last edition, so you can get a copy. You can sign up for get an electronic copy. And I was going through this, and I also noticed one advertisement. Has anybody here been to our Citizens Academy? Does anybody know what that is?
I was halfway, but COVID happened, and then...
Okay, so Citizens Academy is going on right now at our West Precinct branch on 1 Main Street. It's about 40 people that get to go hear about law enforcement, Clark County Sheriff's Office, and prosecuting. It's like a basic mini police academy. You don't have a uniform. You do get to go to the range and shoot all the different guns and the tasers. And if you want to tase the sheriff, I might show up one day, but I get to tase you back. Yeah. But it's phenomenal because I'll have people come in there, and I get there's been mistrust or misunderstandings with police, and they come in there and go, man, I never knew. And not that we're perfect, but we try to educate people and ask good questions. So the great news is this was for spring 2024, but I really wanted to have another one in the fall, and I didn't think we could do it. And I just heard a couple days ago that we're going to run one in the fall. We have the resources to do it. So if you want to sign up, you can actually take this. I could use this QR code to get on the waiting list for the fall one. I have been told her that I was going to announce this tonight, so she might see it in the morning. Go ahead.
Age limit?
No age limit. The lower end. I'm assuming you're not on the lower end. No. I've seen people. I'm gonna just guess an age. 16 to 85 in there, and it's one night a week for 3 hours. There's breaks in there and whatnot. The real fun part is going on some of the field trips down to the 911 dispatch center. If you've never been down there to see how that works, 911, the jail, the range where we go to shoot all the different weapons and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I've never heard anybody that comes away from that doesn't love it. So that's a little brief overview of where we're at. Sheriff's Office, I'll say one more thing. Chief Maury, Vancouver Chief and I work great together. And all the other chiefs in the chief in Ridgefield, Battleground, Washougal, Kamloops, you name it. We meet monthly, we have discussions, and we help each other out. You might see a Vancouver car up in the county, or you might see a Park County car helping out on a call in the city. Depends what type of call, depends how close. We don't have any boundaries. I mean, what I mean is, there's no big walls. Other parts of the country, they have a lot of animosity between the police departments. And it's, I don't know why, it's not good. Probably egos is the number one thing. There's issues with pride. But if Jeff Maury calls me at 2 a.m. and says, I need X, Y, and Z right now, I say yes. And then tomorrow we figure out, you know, okay, who pays for what on that one. But that's the kind of relationship we have. So you have that going, not just from the sheriff's office, all the other police agencies here. So do you want to do, we're going to do questions at the end, is that right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get all the speakers through, and then we're gonna have like Q&A, and then you can direct questions to different speakers, and I think that'll be the easiest way for me to keep track of the time. Otherwise, it'll be short somebody.
All right, I'll pass these out and grab whatever you want, and then if you want to get on an email list for the roundup, or you can go on our website with an action plan there as well. So it's all available. All right, thank you.
Thank you.